Okay, so in this notebook, in this video, we're going to extract data from the Dortmund data bank, which can be shown here. And this is data related to the water vapor liquid equilibrium. And using this data in the notebook will show how you can analyze and visualize the data in a plot. So first, we'll start in a Colab notebook. We start with the basics of Python. We'll import the NumPy library. And then we'll also import the Plotly subplots in order for us to be able to make the plots later on after we extract the data. So from Plotly, and then we're also going to import plotly.io, which is a function that contains various export settings and will allow us to manipulate those settings later on. Okay, so now we're going to want to import the URL from this website that contains the data we're looking to extract. So I'm going to copy and paste this URL into the Colab notebook. And this is actually our original URL because instead of taking the data straight from the Dortmund Databank website, we're going to take it from our GitHub library. So I'll go and open that. So this is a raw code of all of this information we see here that we're looking to extract. So I'll copy this URL as well. Okay. And then actually, I forgot to do this at the top, we'll need to import a Python library, LXML, that'll allow us to process the URLs that we just imported here. And I'll go ahead and import requests because in a second down here, we are going to request the content from these URLs. We'll do that now. Content request. And that's requesting the content, the data actually from these URLs we just pasted here. And here we are constructing a tree from the content strings that we just pulled. All right, so now we can actually import or extract the XPath to the specific data point. So I'm just going to click a random data point, inspect it, and then I can copy this as an XPath. So I'm going to copy that and then paste that in our co-laboratory. Oops. Forgot that. we go. Okay. So we just copied and pasted the XPath from the Dortmund data bank. Now we are going to parse the individual temperature and pressure strings. So we see the temperature and pressure columns here. So we're just going to define those. Okay. And then I'm pasting in the XPath here. And I want to do that for the pressure string as well. Okay. But now this XPath takes us directly to this specific data point that I inspected. So we're just going to take out the specifiers for the row and the column that defines this data point because we want the entire temperature and pressure columns. So I'm going to take out the row. And we actually want temperature was in that first column, so we want to put a 1 there. Take out the row for pressure, and the pressure was actually in the second column, so we want that. That is okay. And then since we want the text that is in the boxes of that table here, we want these actual numbers, so we're going to go input text, and that's going to pull the text out of that table for those data points. All right. Now to organize this data we just extracted, put it into an array, a numpy array. Period goes here. Float. Since we want these data points to show up as points on a scatter plot. Okay. So now that we've organized this data we extracted into an array, we can set the parameters for it. Okay. And then finally, we can go ahead and make a scatter plot and visualize this data. So make a subplot. We're going to add a scatter of the data points. And we want the mode to be markers. Okay. And then we can just adjust the figure we're creating, update the layout, we can change the width and the height. And then we can also update the figure and define an X and Y axis title. So we want our x-axis to be the temperature in kelvins. And the y-axis then we'll show the figure. And there we have it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and name these data points here as our data.